You watched some of last night, so did I. Seriously, I think it was one of the worst performances she's given. And I was amazed that Anderson Cooper and CNN actually tried to hold her feet to the fire on a few of the issues like the border.
I mean, things are really bad when Anderson Cooper looks like he's actually doing journalism. That's how bad they were yesterday with Kamala Harris. I mean, it's a joke, right? Because like they're asking her questions, they're literally tossing them underhand, and she still can't hit it. It's
Right?
absurd. I mean, the border question, she should have been prepared for that day one. That should be the first one that they prepped her for. And she's like stumbling. She's like, well, Trump said that Mexico is going to pay for it. No, honey, that's not the question. The question is, why are you flip-flopping? And because she can't answer that question because she's, been the big influencer behind the invasions and been the one pushing and shoveling all these illegals into our country, she has to deflect. Now she supports a border wall, which is great. Now, if she supports it, you've already got the material. Let's start building it.
Attack Trump, divert, or cackle and laugh and say, like the direct one about, do you think you've done anything bad or wrong that Anderson asked her, right? Like the 60 Minutes one about the regret, anything you regret, blah, blah, blah. No, I can't think of any. It's like, you can't think of anything you did wrong when you've seen the polling numbers that people think inflation has skyrocketed, not think, we know, that your economic policy sucks, that we're in the middle of 2 wars, a possible third, that we have a wide open border and 18 million illegals have come in, that you've turned our schools and military into woke dumping grounds, and you can't think of one damn thing you've done wrong or would change. I mean, talk about an ego. Learn some humility, Miss Harris.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're not going to get it from her. It's laughable that she thinks that the last 4 years have been flawless, and obviously the vast majority of Americans disagree with that. We say that time and time again. Rasmussen Reports has like dumped out so many polls on this. Like most Americans, I think it was like 70% say that they're not better off in the last 4 years than they were under President Trump. So Americans know what's going on. Maybe in order to steal and just to get Joe Biden to comply with all of this, she had to say, like, I won't badmouth you, Joe, or anything you've done over the years. So maybe that's the explanation for all of this, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense, Dan. I mean, we've all lived through it. When you go to the grocery store, I'm paying $8 for a dozen eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck? That was never the case.
You work at Fox News. You know a lot of players in the mainstream media. Let me show you this soundbite from good old Dana Bash from CNN talking about Kamala's performance. And then I want to ask you why you think some of these left-wing outlets with 12 days to go are now turning on Miss Harris. Watch.
But what she will do, the question about her legislative priorities, name one. There wasn't one. Some more of her personality and her sort of character questions about your weaknesses or what mistakes did you make? Not necessarily the answers there.
Oof. Your thoughts, Breanna?
It's a bad one. I think everyone's starting to cope and just accept the idea that President Trump is getting his way back into the White House, and they all have to deal with it. The good news for CNN, though, it's a ratings booster, and they're on life support, so they need it more than anyone. So I think they're just accepting that this is going to be a major win for them.